Some of the fastest cars on Earth today aren't Lamborghinis, Ferraris, or Porsches. They're hatchbacks, compact, practical, and now frighteningly fast. So how is a 4-cylinder hatchback beating 6-figure exotics off the line? What hatch reaches 186 miles per hour straight from the factory? And which one breaks records while staying totally silent? If you've ever doubted hatchbacks, this will change your mind. By the end of this video, you won't just know which is fastest, you'll know why it matters, and which one might just be your next weapon. Mini JCW GP. This is not the car you wave to on the school run. It is not your neighbor's cheerful grocery getter. This is the British pit bull, ferocious, compact, and out for blood on the back roads. The Mini JCW GP, short for John Cooper Works Grand Prix, doesn't smile. It snarls, with bulging wheel arches, a towering rear wing, and air scoops that scream aggression. It carries itself like a touring car that escaped the track. Under its stubby hood roars a turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4 engine, pushing out 301 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. This is sent exclusively to the front wheels, managed by a serious limited-slip differential. Thanks to its featherweight frame and savage power delivery, the JCW GP hits 60 miles per hour in just 5.2 seconds and won't stop climbing until it crashes through 164 miles per hour. It doesn't pretend to be versatile. There's no rear seat, no comfort mode, no soft touches. Mini built this machine as a track-focused predator disguised as a hatchback. The suspension is stiff, the ride is brutal, and the noise is glorious. Every surface, bolt, and aerodynamic element was tuned to shave seconds off a lap time. It's unapologetically hardcore. While most hot hatches juggle performance with daily livability, this one chose violence. The JCW GP reminds us of an era when performance didn't have to be polite. It's raw, mechanical, and unmistakably British. As the road winds ahead, a different kind of hatchback growls into view. Not built by heritage, but by defiance. Ford's next entry wasn't born in a gentleman's workshop. It was forged in rebellion. Look, we tracked down official dyno numbers, factory test results, and Nürburgring lap data from every major hot hatch release. Now you know exactly which models deliver real-world speed, not marketing hype. If that saves you hours of research, a quick subscribe goes a long way. Ford Focus RS MK3. Final edition. This thing did not ask for permission. It crashed the gates of Europe's sacred hot hatch segment with tire smoke, turbo lag, and full throttle confidence. This wasn't just a fast Ford. It was Detroit's middle finger to the Nürburgring elite. Its turbocharged 2.3-liter inline-4 delivered a neck-snapping 350 horsepower and an equal 350 pound-feet of torque, mated to a 6-speed manual transmission and channeled through an advanced all-wheel drive system with dynamic torque vectoring. It could rip from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. Its top speed, 165 miles per hour, fast enough to hunt down V8s on the highway. What made the final edition truly notorious, though, was its party trick, drift mode. Yes, Ford put a factory-approved setting in a hatchback that allowed drivers to send the rear wheels into a smoky slide without aftermarket trickery. Add to that a helical front limited-slip differential, upgraded suspension tuning, and the wild twin-clutch rear drive unit, and you had a street car that could dance like a rally star. Visually, it wore its aggression proudly. Bulging fenders, a snarling front bumper, blue brake calipers clamped over massive Brembos, and a roof spoiler that doubled as a warning label. Inside, Recaro bucket seats hugged you tight, while the gear shifter begged to be slammed into each next gear with abandon. Yet this final edition of the Focus RS was not just speed and showmanship, it was the last of its kind. Ford axed the RS badge in the United States, and with tightening emissions rules and rising electrification, there's no clear successor in sight. For enthusiasts, that only makes it more mythical. Still, one of the Focus RS's fiercest rivals came from an unlikely place. Not Detroit or Tokyo, but Barcelona. And where the Focus was loud and brash, the next contender uses poise and precision. Wrapped in copper accents and Spanish curves, it proves that performance doesn't have to shout to be heard. Cupra Leon vs 2.0 TSI. At first glance, the Cupra Leon VZ might look like a dressed-up commuter, something sleek for the office parking lot, but that assumption disappears the moment you hear it start. This is a Spanish insurgent wrapped in copper-edged armor, forged by Seat's performance arm to outmaneuver the world's best hot hatches. Its 2.0-liter turbocharged inline-4 delivers 296 horsepower and 295 pound pound-feet of torque. Front-wheel drive may sound like a limitation until you learn the VZ uses an electronically controlled, limited-slip differential and dynamic chassis control that fine-tunes damper settings based on your aggression. From 0 to 60 miles per hour takes just 5.3 seconds, with a governor-limited top speed of 155 miles per hour. But that's not where it earns its stripes. This hatchback isn't a brute, it's a tactician. Built on the proven MQB platform shared with the Volkswagen Golf, the Cupra Leon adds bespoke suspension tuning, a precision steering rack, and driving modes calibrated on the Nürburgring. The result is a chassis that knows exactly what to do with every ounce of torque. Whether diving into tight corners or hammering straights, the car reacts like it was wired to your nervous system. Outside, the VZ strikes a unique silhouette. A razor-sharp front fascia with a hexagonal grille, sculpted side skirts, and full-width LED lighting gives it a predator's stare. Copper trim slices through the bodywork, highlighting performance over pretense. Inside, Alcantara seats grip you tightly. A digital cockpit responds instantly, and every surface pulses with purpose. This isn't a hatch for showing off. It's for outdriving cars that cost far more. The Leon VZ combines artistry with aggression and doesn't flinch. Now, as we leave Spain behind, we head to Japan, where another giant awakens. This next contender is a legend reborn. It looks like a Civic until it doesn't, because the next hot hatch isn't just fast, it's obsessive. Every bolt, corner, and throttle map engineered to outcorner nearly anything on four wheels. Honda Civic Type R, FL5. Forget every bland stereotype you've ever heard about the Honda Civic. This is not the economy car your neighbor drives to work. It is not the teenager's first beater. The FL5 generation Civic Type R is a purebred performance machine that silenced critics and shocked the industry. This is the car that rewrote the record books for front-wheel drive cars, lapping circuits faster than vehicles costing twice as much. Honda didn't just build a hot hatch, they built a front-wheel drive legend. Beneath the sculpted hood sits a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine, producing 315 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent exclusively to the front wheels through a short-throw 6-speed manual transmission. No automatic option, no compromise. With launch control engaged and the driver fully committed, the Civic Type R hits 60 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds and carries on to a verified top speed of 170 miles per hour. In the world of front-wheel drive, those numbers are absurd, but raw power is only the beginning. What makes the FL5 so special is how Honda tamed that power. Using a dual-axis front suspension setup, Honda eliminated almost all torque steer, allowing the driver to push hard through corners without the steering wheel tugging away. The result is surgical precision. The adaptive dampers continuously monitor the road, adjusting every millisecond. The ride can feel taut and track-ready, or surprisingly composed on broken pavement. Cooling is another area where Honda went all in, with a 48% larger radiator, a functional hood vent, and a redesigned bumper to enhance airflow. The FL5 is built to withstand prolonged abuse. This is not just a commuter with a body kit. It is engineered to survive lap after lap on the Nürburgring without overheating or fading. Inside, Honda created an environment focused on the driver. The deep red suede bucket seats grip you tightly. The aluminum shifter feels mechanical and deliberate, and the digital display transforms into a race-inspired layout with shift light indicators and a G-meter. Even the pedals are spaced for perfect heel and toe downshifting. Every inch of the FL5 Type R has been refined and optimized. The wide-body stance increases stability. The triple exhaust provides a signature bark under hard acceleration. And Honda's own telemetry system records performance data to help drivers improve their lap times. This is a car born from obsessive attention to detail. And while the FL5 can terrorize the track, it still remains usable day to day. Fold down the seats and there's cargo space. Drive it gently and it sips fuel respectably. That duality, the ability to be both a weekend weapon and a weekday companion, is part of what makes it irresistible. Yet the Type R's domination isn't unchallenged, because Honda's fiercest rival has returned to the battlefield, not with refinement, but with rally-bred fury. It's time to meet the Japanese pit bull that barks with 3 cylinders and claws with all 4 paws. Toyota GR Corolla, GR4, 3 cylinders, all-wheel drive, one singular purpose, domination. The Toyota GR Corolla isn't a gimmick. It's a road-legal manifestation of World Rally Championship DNA. Born from Toyota's Gazoo racing division, This car exists not for market share, but for soul-stirring performance. At its core lies a 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine, the most powerful of its kind in any production car. With 300 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, it obliterates expectations. Paired to either a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed GR direct automatic transmission, the GR Corolla launches from 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds, with top speeds ranging from 143 to 160 miles per hour depending on trim. Toyota's rally-inspired GR4 all-wheel drive system allows you to shift torque distribution on the fly, from a front-heavy setup for grip to a balanced split for curves, or 70% rearward for wild drifts. Dual torsion limited slip differentials, independent suspension, and track-ready Brembo brakes transform this hatch into a corner-devouring machine. But Toyota didn't just add power, they re-engineered everything. The chassis is wider and stiffer, cooling systems are overbuilt, the exhaust sings through 3 aggressive tips. There's a functional rear diffuser, added aerodynamic work under the car, and a wing that wouldn't look out of place in rallycross. Inside, function meets focus. Bolstered GR seats grip tight. A digital gauge cluster feeds real-time performance metrics. Suede accents, a short throw shifter, and GR badges everywhere remind you this is no ordinary Corolla. The result, a car that begs to be pushed, built to take punishment, and designed to thrill. From gravel back roads to alpine switchbacks, the GR Corolla dominates. But Toyota's rally-bred warrior is just the beginning, because next, we trade rally grit for German restraint, where manners disguise menace. Volkswagen Golf R MK 8.5 Performance Pack. This is the wolf in tweed. It looks civilized, conservative even. With its clean silhouette, subtle rear spoiler, and reserved alloy wheels, the Volkswagen Golf R might as well be invisible to anyone who isn't paying close attention. To the untrained eye, it's just another commuter hatchback. But press the start button, bury your right foot, and all that discretion disappears in a wall of boost, torque, and aggression. The MK 8.5 Golf R with the Performance Pack is Germany's version of a sleeper missile, engineered to deliver fury beneath a layer of refinement. At its heart lies a turbocharged 2.0-liter inline 4-cylinder engine, tuned to produce a startling 328 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. All that energy is routed to all 4 wheels through the latest version of Volkswagen's 4Motion all-wheel drive system. The result? A 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint in just 4.2 seconds, and a top speed of 168 miles per hour when equipped with the Performance Pack that lifts the electronic limiter. But this car isn't just about raw numbers. It's about versatility. Drift mode unleashes the hooligan, allowing the Golf R to send power across the rear axle and slide with a level of control normally reserved for rear-wheel drive coupes. Track mode tightens the chassis and sharpens the throttle, perfect for closed-course aggression. And then there's Special Mode, developed on the Nürburgring itself, designed to absorb high-speed punishment without sacrificing agility. This is adaptive performance, sculpted to match both road and driver mood. Beneath the shell, the Golf R hides hardware worthy of a sports car: adaptive dampers, enlarged brakes, torque vectoring differential, and a launch control system that transforms every red light into a starting grid. An optional Akrapovic titanium exhaust system not only reduces weight but delivers a raspy mechanical soundtrack that crackles and snarls on overrun. Inside, the refinement continues. Leather sport seats with blue stitching cradle the driver. A fully digital instrument cluster offers customizable displays, wireless smartphone connectivity, ambient cabin lighting, and Volkswagen's upgraded infotainment interface make daily driving genuinely luxurious. Yet paddle shifters, an R-badged flat-bottom steering wheel, and aggressive performance menus remind you this isn't just a commuter. That's the genius of the Golf R. It's practical, subtle, and usable. It has 5 real doors, a decent-sized boot, and ride quality that won't rattle your spine in comfort mode. It's the car that can handle the grocery run in the morning and carve through a mountain pass before dinner. Rain or shine, track or traffic, it performs with surgical consistency. The MK 8.5 update isn't just a facelift. It fixed what enthusiasts criticized, refining the user interface, smoothing out the electronics, and adding smarter drive modes that elevate it from fast to flawless. This car isn't isn't trying to be loud, it's trying to be lethal. But even a polished assassin has limits, because the next hatch on this list doesn't whisper, it roars. It wears its intentions like a rally car wears mud. It drifts, it shouts, and it demands to be seen. Because next, we're stepping into a machine that rewrites the rules entirely. We chased manufacturer claims, dug into engineering patents, and verified what each car can actually do under pressure. You now have the truth behind the hype, and that gives you the edge as a buyer or enthusiast. If you value that kind of work, click like or drop a comment to support more. Audi RS3 Sportback 8Y, 5 cylinders, 3.6 seconds, and a sound that could wake the dead. The Audi RS3 Sportback in its 8th generation form doesn't just continue the performance legacy, it perfects it with clinical aggression and mechanical soul. Beneath the hood lies a turbocharged 2.5-liter inline 5-cylinder engine, an increasingly rare configuration. It sends 394 horsepower and 368 pound-feet of torque to all 4 wheels through Audi's legendary Quattro all-wheel drive system and a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. The result? A ferocious 0 to 60 sprint in 3.6 seconds and a top speed of 180 miles per hour when equipped with the RS Dynamic package. But raw speed is just the beginning. The RS3's chassis introduces a torque splitter, Audi's clever system that can send power side to side across the rear axle. That means genuine oversteer, agile cornering, and a newfound sense of driver involvement. This isn't the clinical Audi of old. It's a weapon that dances through bends with confidence. The suspension is Nürburgring tuned. Every component, from the dampers to the anti-roll bars, was tested on the world's most demanding circuit. The payoff? Precision handling without sacrificing daily drivability. This car grips, bites, and delivers feedback in a way that flatters both pros and amateurs alike. Then there's the soundtrack. That unmistakable 5-cylinder wail, rooted in Audi's rally history, erupts with every downshift and crackles with every lift. It's not just noise, it's a war cry. Inside, the RS3 balances race-ready tech with premium comfort. Audi's Virtual Cockpit Plus offers torque meters, lap timers, and G-force tracking. Bolstered sports seats, available in Nappa leather, hold you firm. Carbon fiber trim and RS logos remind you this is no ordinary hatch. What sets the RS3 apart is balance. It can rip through canyon road, then calmly cruise to school pickup. It's a wolf in hatchback clothing, subtle in form, savage in motion. And just when it seemed like Audi had built the perfect machine, they doubled down with something even more extreme, the Performance Edition. Audi RS3 Sportback Performance Edition. It's the RS3 Unleashed. The Performance Edition takes Audi's already formidable hot hatch and injects it with race-ready venom, wrapped in stealth and exclusivity. Only 300 units will ever exist, making this more than a fast car. It's an instant collectible. The engine remains Audi's legendary 2.5-liter turbocharged inline 5-cylinder, now tuned to deliver 407 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Launch control still catapults it from 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, but with the RS Dynamic Plus package, top speed climbs to a staggering 186 miles per hour. For a hatchback, that's hypercar territory. Performance upgrades aren't limited to power. Carbon ceramic front brakes reduce unsprung mass and resist fade under repeated high-speed stops. These brakes are built for track abuse, not just parking lot admiration. Audi's RS torque splitter returns, transforming the car's dynamics. It actively shifts torque side to side across the rear axle, enabling controlled oversteer in drift mode. You read that right, this Audi can legally drift on command. The soundtrack keeps pace. An active exhaust amplifies the engine's unique 5-cylinder rhythm. It crackles, barks, and howls, depending on throttle input. It's mechanical opera, aggressive and authentic. Visually, the Performance Edition is darker and sharper. Matte gray accents, blacked-out badges, and 20-inch forged wheels distinguish it from its tamer sibling. Special colors like Ascari blue and dew silver make it instantly recognizable to those in the know. Inside, it's pure motorsport. Fixed-back RS bucket seats are wrapped in leather and microfiber. Carbon fiber trim stretches across the dashboard, doors, and console. RS logos are everywhere, from the seats to the digital cluster. And yet, it remains practical enough to daily if you're brave enough. This is Audi's ultimate farewell to the combustion-powered hot hatch. It's not just an evolution, it's a send-off to one of the most charismatic engine layouts in performance history. And with just 300 in existence, it's not just fast, it's final. The future may be electric, but this is fire in its purest form. Hyundai Ioniq 5N. This electric vehicle doesn't whisper, it roars. Meet the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, the first truly track-ready electric hatchback that doesn't just compete with internal combustion, it tries to bury it. Underneath the futuristic sheet metal lies a dual-motor setup pushing 601 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque. That kind of power was reserved for supercars just a few years ago, not anymore. The Ioniq 5N launches from 0 to 60 in a face-warping 2.8 seconds, pinning you to your seat and holding you there while you recalibrate reality. Top speed? A governed 162 miles per hour, but it's how it gets there that matters. Hyundai didn't just throw batteries and motors into a crossover hatch and call it a day. This car was tuned by the same N division responsible for the brutal i30N and Veloster N. And the result? A machine that dances like a rally car but accelerates like a spaceship. The Ioniq 5N features a simulated 8-speed gearbox with an E-shift, giving drivers the tactile feel of a traditional transmission. It even blips the throttle and gives audio feedback through the speakers to replicate the drama of gear changes. It's not just gimmickry, it's immersion. There's also N-Drift Optimizer, a system that modulates power delivery, brake vectoring, and torque split in real time to keep the car sideways for extended periods. That's right, Hyundai built an EV that drifts. Other features include adaptive dampers, a track-specific cooling system, regenerative braking tuned for high-speed stops, and launch control that delivers consistent acceleration with repeatable precision. This is not an appliance, it's a weapon. Even the chassis is upgraded. Reinforced subframes, stiffer bushings, and recalibrated steering mean the Ioniq 5N feels planted at speed and communicative in corners. This is no soft-roading electric SUV. It is sharp, agile, and terrifyingly fast. Inside, the cabin feels like a fighter cockpit. Bucket seats with N logos, dual 12.3-inch displays with track telemetry, and unique N-Drive modes that let you adjust throttle response, steering weight, and even fake engine noise levels. There's no pretending here. Hyundai wants you to feel the drama of performance, not just read about it. This is the future of hot hatches. No fuel, no gears, no mercy. The Ioniq 5N proves that electric performance can be exciting, loud, in its own way, and completely unhinged. It is faster than nearly every car on this list, more advanced than most of them. And yet it's still practical, comfortable, and carries the family nameplate of Hyundai. It's proof that the EV world has grown teeth. Still, the world of hot hatches began with combustion, grew up with turbochargers, and matured under the hands of engineers who turned compact cars into apex predators. Which is why, despite everything, the final spot on this list belongs not to the future, but to the ultimate refinement of the past. Mercedes-AMG A45S or facelift. M139, the most powerful four-cylinder production engine in history, inside a hatchback. That's not an exaggeration, it's a statement of fact. The Mercedes-AMG A45S doesn't just bend the rules of what a hatchback can be, it vaporizes them. Beneath its sculpted hood lies the hand-built M139 engine, a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder masterpiece delivering an astonishing 421 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Each engine is assembled by a single AMG technician under the one-man, one-engine philosophy, with a signature plaque to prove it. Power surges through an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox and Mercedes 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system. But this isn't ordinary AWD. It features rear-axle torque vectoring that can send up to 100% of the torque to a single rear wheel. That means rally-style drift mode is not just possible, it's engineered into the system. 0 to 60 comes in just 3.7 seconds. Top speed, 168 miles per hour. This hatchback can outgun supercars from just a few years ago. But it's not just about raw power. AMG loaded this machine with every piece of performance tech they could fit. Adaptive dampers, stiffer subframes, aggressive Michelin Pilot sport tires, and massive brakes with optional carbon ceramic rotors, all designed to dominate both track and street. Inside, it's all business. Deep AMG performance seats hold you firmly. A flat-bottom steering wheel with rotary drive mode selectors gives you instant control over throttle response, suspension stiffness, and exhaust tone. Dual 12-inch screens provide telemetry, G-forces, lap timers, and more. This is not a warm hatch. It's a data-logging, apex-hunting ballistic weapon. Visually, the facelift brings larger front intakes, updated LED lighting, flared arches, and a towering spoiler that makes no apologies. And that is all for today. But which one of these monsters would you trust to outrun a supercar? Drop your pick in the comments. And if this video made you rethink hatchbacks forever, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks.